But right now I want to talk about, and I don't mean to be cruel to them. I don't mean to treat them as a joke, but minor parties. They're minor parties, aren't they? Tuesday this week, there's going to be a court case with Vision New Zealand, which was Hana Tamaki's party, I think, and some others complaining to the electoral commission taken money off them. Because what's happened is they've made this umbrella group called Freedoms New Zealand, but that's now been defined just as one political party. So all the constituent parties that could have pulled 66 grand apiece in taxpayer funding, they lose that funding, and there's going to be a court case. Not that it matters, not that any of them are going to get anywhere near Parliament. And I've also said, of course, one group that won't, though, out of all the minnows, I guess it's the slightly bigger minnow, has been Democracy New Zealand, founded by former National MP Matt King. Very strong on the mandates, Matt King, up in Northland. But it appears that Democracy New Zealand, which I think stuttered to 1.8% in one poll just because of the margin of error, apparently they've had a whole lot of high-profile defections. Well, I didn't know they had anyone high-profile in their party. I did recognise the name Matt Shelton. Dr. Matt Shelton is one of the people who's left. And I arrive at work this morning and then a whole lot of texts from people saying you should check out what's happening with Democracy New Zealand. It's imploding. Well, we'd already teed up the leader of Democracy New Zealand, Matt King, for an interview. And in fact, he joins us now. Matt, welcome to the platform. How are you this Monday morning?
Morning, Sean. Yep, we've had better days, but, life goes on.
Well, what exactly has happened?
Look, what's happened is that as a board, we made a decision about a candidate, and as a result of that decision, some others followed.
Okay, who was the candidate? Who was the candidate?
Steve Cranston.
And who's Steve Cranston when he's at home?
Oh, he's just one of our guys that was a Waikato. He was the Waikato candidate. He was a climate change guy. He is a farmer. He's a good man.
Yeah, and what was the decision you made about him?
Look, we decided to deselect him for a number of reasons, which we'll keep personal for.
Well, you're a public. Come on. You're a public. You're out there fighting a public election. But you deselect Steve Cranston. You won't select him as a candidate. And that leads to a whole lot of members of the board and senior members resigning.
Yep. And
so who's gone?
And what parties do? What parties do, Sean? What parties do is they don't. They keep some things.
So who's gone?
What's that?
Who's gone? Matt Shelton.
So Matt Shelton, Kirsten Murfitt, Steve Cranston, Bill Dyatt, and Lee Smith.
Okay, and how many people were on your board of directors?
6 of us.
So that's 1, 2, 3. You've lost 5. So there are 7 of you left. Is that right?
No. We've got like close to 20 candidates. We've named.
No, I wasn't asking candidates. It's your board because your board makes the decisions, I presume.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So you've almost been halved.
I don't know what you're meaning, Sean. You've
lost out of. You've got. Sorry, how many?
I don't think you're understanding, Sean. We've had some candidates leave.
Oh, those are all candidates. Yeah. Oh, okay.
They're all. Yeah. The candidates are separate from the board. The board runs the party. The candidates. We've got 15 candidates. We've got more to name, and we've had a few candidates leave. So.
Okay, and why have they left? Because they were good mates with Steve Cranston?
Pretty much, yep. And they just disagreed with some aspects of the way we run our party. But we've got a unified board. And
what aspects did they disagree with, Matt?
Differences of opinion in the direction of the party and some of the
what in particular about the party's direction?
Look, what we're talking about, what we've got as candidates, are that none of them are politically experienced. So they don't understand politics. And they've come in here with passion. And they've come in here and joined the party with ideas and expectations. And sometimes reality doesn't match expectations. So there's rules and protocols. We've got to follow legal requirements. And politics is a pretty shark-infested environment. And some people, I mean, they're all good people, and they all have full-time jobs, and they all have things going on in their lives, and some of them have some significant personal challenges. So they made the decision to leave DemocracyNZ, and we wish them all the best.
Okay, and they all did it en masse.
They did it all at the one time because we deselected Steve Cranston, a unanimous board decision, for reasons that I won't disclose publicly.
Well, why won't you disclose them publicly, Matt?
Because political parties don't discuss.
Oh, so you're just like every other political party. You're nothing new. You're not a change of direction at all. You're just playing the old game. I'm just giving you a chance to be different, Matt, to be honest with the voters, because that's the only thing you've got going for you is that you're not an established political party. Look,
Sean, you've had people leave your organisation. Your show still goes on.
Don't play that game with me, Matt. I'm not standing for election.
Yeah,
I'm not seeking the vote of New Zealanders. So don't come the raw prawn with me, Sonny. What I'm saying is you have an opportunity. No, I'm not shutting you down. I'm going to give you a chance to answer. What I'm saying is you talk about transparency and openness and democracy, and you're all into the conspiracy theories about mandates, and something happens in your party, and I'm not going to discuss it. Well, why no honesty?
Hey, Sean, you're being a hypocrite. You're being a hypocrite.
I'm not, because I'm not standing for office. I got nothing to be hypocritical about, Matt. I'm not the one seeking the votes of the New Zealand public. You are.
You're in the media, Sean. You're all about transparency and open. You've got those things on your platform, and there's certain things that you don't disclose to the public.
You sound quite itchy, man.
Look, Sean, it's quite funny. You dismissed us, and you're quite dismissive.
And here's the reason why, Matt, because here you are imploding 3.5, 4 months out from an election.
We're certainly not imploding, Sean. We have had public-facing candidates for months now. If you look at some of the other major political parties, some of them
How many candidates did you have?
We've got 15, but we're naming some more over the next.
Well, you got 15 left, or you had 15 before you lost these 6?
We've had 15 announced but we have many more to announce.
Okay, and how many of those 15 resigned in the last few days?
As you said previously, 5 of them. I said previously.
Oh, wow! So you have lost a third of your candidates. Jeez, and you're not going to tell us why, Matt. You're not going to tell us what the issue is that's riven your party.
I actually have told you, Sean. I said we have a difference of opinion and direction.
On what? On what issue, Matt? That's weasel words without telling us what the issue is on. Is it on vaccination or mandates?
No, it's not a number of issues, Sean, because as I said before.
I thought you said it was one issue. So what are the issues that you've got the divergence on?
Look, the reality is this. These people are not politically experienced, and we have certain rules and protocols and things that we have to comply with and have to do. And some of these candidates are just unaware of it or their expectation and what is the reality.
What rules and protocols?
Look, you have to comply with legal requirements, electoral commission requirements. You have to do things a certain way as a political party. You have to have discipline. You have to have messaging. You have to have. We had people that were talking to our opponents, leaking information. Not saying that these candidates did that, but we had people leaking. People got alongside us with a view to befriending us and then leaking to our opponents. That the political scene is a very shark-infested.
It sounds like it's a complete disaster, man.
It's not at all. I want to tell you what's just happened.
You can't even nail down the loss of a third of your candidates to one thing in particular. You just said no one knew what they were doing. They were all newbies.
Sean, I've just finished 9 meetings in 7 days around the North Island. We had packed out venues wherever we went.
How many of those people were spying on you and were going to leak information to your opponents and didn't understand the rules of running a political campaign?
Politics, you always have people from opposing parties come to meetings. That's all right, but most of them were absolutely staunch supporters of ours. But we just had Scotty Bright, the groundswell. He's now the Port Waikato candidate. He drove a tractor from Invercargill to Auckland, had a road show. It's a no fart tax tour. He had huge amounts of support all along the way from the beautiful people of New Zealand. So we are.
Scotty isn't going to get you out of the problem here, Matt. What went wrong, and why won't you tell me?
You know what, Sean, as any organisation that has people involved in it. People have a parting of their ways. They have disagreements. They have people who decide to leave for whatever reason.
Okay.
I'm not going to stand here and bag any of our candidates.
Do you know,
The
are they
candidates
going to
worth it.
form their own party or join Leighton Baker, or what are they going to do? Run off and join Freedoms New Zealand?
I have no idea, Sean, but I wish them all the best because we've got a great team here. The candidates, the remaining candidates are solid and unified. You can interview any of them any time if you'd like, Sean. We'll make them available and they'll talk to you anytime.
Matt Shelton was probably the most high profile of these people. Have you had a conversation with Matt about why he left? Did any of them give you a chance to talk them back round?
Look, we had discussions and negotiations with all of them, and in the last week, I've had several hours of conversations face to face with 2 of the 5 that left. So,
which 2?
We did our best. I spoke to Kirsten Murfitt for 2 hours the other day, and I had an hour and a half car ride with Matt Shelton on the way in between 2 meetings just this week.
Yeah,
and we had good discussions. And the reality is this: some people came along. They're just, most of the people that are well, not most of them, but some of our candidates are very passionate activist people.
Nutters.
It doesn't mean that translate. No, not nutters. Activists are people that care about our country, Sean. You could consider yourself an activist because what you've done was taking away from the mainstream.
I'm just
you're a journalist, but you're broken away though, and you're going out there putting the message out, right? Well, we've got people just like that are passionate, but it doesn't mean that they're a good suit for politics. And we're just happy that.
Shouldn't you have thought about this before you made them candidates, man?
Look, what happens, Sean, when you form a new party is you take people on board on good faith, and you work together with them. And some people work and some people don't. Some people work out, some people don't. I wish none of them any ill will at all. In fact, they're good people. They're all very successful people in their own right. And I wish them all the best in whatever they do.
All right. Matt, what do you think it will do? Well, I look at a couple of them. I mean, losing a couple of them might up the party's ratings, but it's kind of getting to the stage, Matt, really, isn't it, where it's going to be pretty obvious to your followers that you're not getting anywhere near Parliament.
Well, Sean, that's where you don't understand the Northern electorate. I mean, in 2017, ACT had 5.5% party vote, and what's his name, Seymour won the seat, and he got into Parliament. Now he's a lot stronger. We have a Northern seat that is not a red and blue drag race. It's actually split up with one of your mates, Shane Jones, and other candidates, some brand new ones.
Careful, I know him. I know the man.
Yeah, you get him on the show all the time. Yeah.
You've been on a few times, Matt, as well.
I knew you would. I actually knew when this news broke that I'd get a call from you, Sean, because it's not great news. So I knew that you would get me on your show. I knew it was coming.
You sound bottom here. You really do, Matt.
No. I'm actually really good, Sean. I've had a great week, actually, except for the last day or two. I've had a great week.
From losing a third of my candidates, it's been a standout week on the road for me. Okay, Matt. Look, I admire your optimism, not necessarily your transparency, but I get the feeling these people were newbies and they're pains up the bum and they all got the bit between their teeth and threw their toys out of the cot. I wish you well. I thank you, as always, for at least fronting on the platform for us.
I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Matt King from Democracy New Zealand, a one-time political party that methinks has peaked. Gosh, Matt Shelton, nutter, Dr. Matt Shelton, a nutter. Who would have picked that? That comes as a complete bolt from the blue. I just never would have imagined that you get together a group of people who are anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists and they wouldn't be able to get on.